What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Second Street Marvel for the morning movie chat. I hope you're all having a very good Christmas Eve. I hope you're all doing well, and I hope you're all getting ready to get together with family and maybe open some Christmas presents, have some good dinner, and just have a good time with all of your loved ones. That's something I know we're all looking forward to doing at this time of year. I mean, hey, it's Christmas time, right? It's time. It's the time for giving. It's the time for receiving, and I'm glad that you're all here and glad that you guys made it. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's all there really is to say about that. It's the holiday season. We all should be enjoying ourselves, enjoying good tidings, enjoying times with our family, with our friends, and all of those loved ones. And I hope that you are doing no less than just that. I hope you're all having a very good day, and I hope things go well for you. I know that this is a trying time of year for a lot of people. It's pretty tough. I mean, I know there are plenty of people out there who probably may not be able to, afford all the things that they want for all of their loved ones. Whether that's gifts or being able to get back home to your loved ones to spend time with them, and that's pretty sad. But you know what? If that's the case, if that's you, don't feel down about that. That's something that certainly a lot of people go through at this time of year, because it is a tough time of year here going into the holidays. A lot of people out there trying to spend money on things that maybe they can afford but maybe shouldn't be. Don't spend money that you don't have. It's not smart. Be smart with your money. Be smart with your time. And I know there's a lot of people out there who they might be working on the holidays. And I know there's certainly a whole bunch of people out there who sit there and who will go out there and make these criticisms of these places out there who how dare they be open and make their employees work today. You know what I mean? But I've got to tell you guys, I'm self-employed. I worked in in retail for a lot of years. I used to work for Walmart. I did that for a lot of years, and I was used to working holidays. And believe me, I never complained about it. It's nothing I ever had any problems with. There should be absolutely nothing wrong. There should be nothing wrong with working on the holidays. People still have to get around. They have to drive around. They need gas. You go to convenience stores. You go to the grocery store, and all of those different kinds of things. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Like I said, I'm self-employed now, and there's times when these holidays roll around, and I'm sitting there like, I wish I was working. People out there who say like, "Oh, these places should be closed. How dare Walmart be open for people to go and buy things?" Yes, how dare they? You know what I mean? I just want to say to all those people out there who think those kinds of things, believe me, there's people for every one of you out there. There's people like me who say, you know what? That's good. I wish I was working on these holidays. You know what I mean? Because for basically like the next 2 weeks, I'm pretty much out of business. You know what I mean? I wish I had that job that made me go into work, that asked me to work overtime and all of those kinds of things. And not because I need the money or anything like that, I'm really hurting, but because it's nice to have that steady income, that steady paycheck. You know what I mean? Something to look forward to. If you're one of those people out there, be thankful that you have that job, because there are people out there who aren't as fortunate as you. And I know that, I have a different perspective of it because I am self-employed and those kinds of things. And if you're out there working in one of those kind of retail environments or something out there like that, just be thankful. The shoe could be on the other foot. You could be self-employed. You could be struggling to make ends meet. And I'm not saying that I'm struggling, but I'm saying that I could be. And there's certainly a whole sector of people out there who I feel should just be a little bit more thankful for that. When I used to do that, when I used to work in retail, I worked plenty of holidays. Never really had any problem with it. I have a family now, and that kind of affected just me at work anyway. Kind of shifted my focus from being more about the company to being more about my family. And even then, I wasn't worried about having to work on the holidays. There's nothing wrong with that. So, I know I've seen plenty of posts out there on social media and things like that, like, how dare these places be open? People want to spend time with their families, and that's certainly true. That's certainly true. But at the same time, society still has to function. You know what I mean? People still want some of the services out there. So, like I said, guys, just be thankful. Don't go out there, thinking bad of all these companies and things like that who are open on the holidays and people who are working. Don't feel bad for them, because a lot of times, when I was working in that kind of environment, I actually, used to balance that out. There was times where, like, hey, I have to work. So you spend that quality time with your family before you have to go to work, or before when you get out of work, and those different kinds of things. So if you're one of those people out there who has to work today, I just want you to know from somebody like me, thank you for one for working, and be thankful for the fact that you have a job and you are out there working and employed, because there are plenty of people out there who wish they were in your shoes. I know Thanksgiving has just passed, and a lot of people were thankful for those kinds of things. But you know what? I think by this time of year we start to lose focus of that, and don't lose focus of that. Be thankful. Be thankful for that job you have. Be thankful for that boss that you have that maybe somewhat of a jerk and just has standards and wants you to work by them. Because you know what? We all need to have standards for those kinds of things. So with that all out of the way, like I said, just be thankful, man. Be thankful that you're alive, that you're breathing, and even if you're in a position where maybe you're not in the best of health, you know what? I'm sure that we're all thankful that you're still here, and I'm sure none of us want to see you struggling, and you yourself don't want to struggle either. So, while it is easy for somebody like me who is in good health to be thankful for those kinds of things, I do understand how it would be hard for many other people out there. So, make sure just. Make sure that that your loved ones know that you love them, and like I said, be thankful for all that you have. I think sometimes a lot of us do lose sight of those things. So moving on into some more things, something else I want to show you guys. I just recently got this in. The other day I was actually on Mad Max's stream. I'm not sure if you guys follow Mad Max the Mandalorian. I can't blame you if you don't. He's not for everybody. He's certainly not for everybody. But we were on there, and Preston Poulter from Pocket Jacks Comics was on there, and he was talking about how our comic books had shipped. And I posted a thing on Twitter the other day, but I got my books in. They're right here. White Lily issue 4, but I actually already have a copy of issue 4 that I got from LA Comic Con when I met Preston Poulter from Pocket Jacks Comics. But yeah, I went ahead and backed his campaign up anyway, because I like the work that he's doing, and I've liked these books more than anything, I guess, too. Good quality stuff, and hopefully soon I will have Preston Poulter here on the channel to discuss his comic book, and probably here after the new year to maybe even discuss the launch of White Lily issue 5 when he goes to get ready to start the campaign for that. So that's just something I wanted to share with you guys. But go ahead, we're going to go ahead and move on to some other stuff. I'm sure maybe you guys got clickbaited here by my title there. I'm a Reylo shipper and I joined the Fandom Menace. But did I? Of course not. Of course not. Now, what this has to do with is all of these things that we see going on out there, and this is something I've largely talked about on my channel here for the longest time, and that is talking about this whole fandom thing, with between all these different fandoms, and it seems like right now we're finally at a point. Rise of Skywalker just came out. This is kind of the end of the Skywalker saga, and guys, there's nobody out there more happy than me that it's over, because I know we're gonna have to trudge through a little bit more, and then things will hopefully start to even out a little bit. We'll have a few years before we get more Star Wars content, aside from like the Mandalorian and that awesome Obi-Wan series that's going to be coming out. That's going to be absolutely great, because Deborah Chow, right? Yeah, Deborah Chow. So anyway, what that title has to do with is, once again, this is something I've talked about when it comes to these fandoms a whole lot, is that, like I said, a Reylo shipper joined the Fandom Menace. Nothing seems more absurd, right? I know. The thing here is, guys, is something I've talked a lot about there is, we see all these people online, on whether it's here on YouTube, on Twitter, Facebook, all of these different kinds of things. There's people out there. There's different sects of fandom, okay? And I get that, no matter what part you belong to. The thing that I think a lot of people always seem to forget is that we're all fans here. We're all fans. We all love Star Wars, or we all love the MCU, or maybe not all of us, but you know what I mean. There's those different fans, and I think everybody starts to lose sight of those different kinds of things out there when it comes down to it. And there's a post I made on my Twitter just this morning that, hey, I got a few of you retweeted. I'm like, I don't know, but it's just something about the way I feel when it comes to these kinds of things, and it's something I've talked a lot about here on the channel. Is we see there's constantly people going at each other and criticizing each other, and there's nothing wrong with criticisms. Okay, but there's, for me, I feel there's a certain way that you should go about doing it. At least there's the way I go about doing it. And that is the fact of, and it's not even about fair and balanced. In case you guys don't know, I am part of the Gray Order. Now I know there's probably a lot of people out there saying like, "What's the Gray Order? What is that?" And I see it a lot on Twitter and all that kinds of stuff. And the thing is like, if you don't want to know about it, you don't have to know about it. You don't have to join. And the thing is, it's just another fan group, if you will, just like the Fandom Menace or any other fan group out there. It's just meant to be something that's more inclusive for us all to come together to talk about these kinds of things. And I think that's just. For me, that's why I kind of, because that's something when Josh from the Den of Nerds launched this whole thing, I was totally down with, because that's what I've been doing the whole time anyway. When he announced on his Patreon, because I am a Patreon supporter of the Den of Nerds, he started to announce these things a while back, as we were just kind of building up and he was getting the ideas together. I was on board with this 100%, because that's largely what I've been doing here on my channel the whole time, is trying to be basically be fair to others and want to hear everybody's opinions out there. I know one of my good friends, Mad Max the Mandalorian, I mentioned him a minute ago. I know not a lot of people like him, but he's actually been out there doing some footwork in trying to do a similar kind of thing, and he himself has even come around to saying, you know what, I'm joining the Gray Order too, right? And that's the thing, is it doesn't matter what part of fandom you're a part of, is you can be a part of it. The only tenet with the Gray Order is to not be a jerk. Not to be a jerk to others for their opinions and things like that. And that's largely what I've been talking about here on the channel. Now all that aside, I'm probably not the best representative for the Gray Order, because you know what, I'm still a little bit extreme at times. And this is something like I tweeted out this morning, is I see people out there constantly just going at each other over these different things, kind of taking aim at other people for the way they feel in their fandoms and different things like that. And I feel there is a certain way to go about doing these kinds of things. And there's always, it seems like at least a couple times a week there's somebody else out there making a controversial video about somebody doing this or somebody doing that. You said boycott this, but you're going out and supporting it anyway. Okay, and to me that's where a lot of this comes in, is guys, it's okay, it's okay. You know what I mean? If you're one of these people who's out there policing fandoms, you're a weirdo, okay? You're a weirdo. It's okay for people to like what they like. It's okay for people to be a part of whatever fandom they want to be a part of. It's okay for them to go out there and voice their opinions. It's okay for them to have their own opinions. They shouldn't all agree with you or me or each other. That's the beauty of fandom, is we all come together and we discuss these things together, and we can be adults in discussing them. And when we're faced with a little bit of criticism, we don't lash out like a bunch of babies, okay? That's the thing, is if you're willing to actually go out there and criticize somebody, be open to that criticism right back. You know what I mean? If you don't want to face the criticism, don't go out there and criticize. You know what I mean? And if you're a creator, know that even if you're not criticizing somebody, somebody's going to come and criticize you, and that's okay. You got to be open to that. If you can't take those kind of criticisms, I got to ask you, what are you doing online? You shouldn't even be on the internet if you can't handle those kinds of things, okay? And that's just the way I feel about it. And once again, we've got people out there, once again, making more waves and things out there. And hey, guys, like I said, I get it. It's okay for criticizing people and calling people out. But the thing is you shouldn't have to call somebody specific out, because when you see something out there, there's a whole lot of people that fit that same type of description of what you're talking about. So to take aim at specific people, you're only asking for somebody specific to come back after you. So when you go and do something like that, know that somebody's going to do it. Okay? Know that they're going to do it. And rightfully they should, because you're actually taking aim at them when you don't have to. Because, I'm not one to, I don't like the whole blanket statements things all the time. But there are some times when I do feel that it is fitting, and it's when it comes to some of these criticisms that have come out about some of these different kinds of things. Lately, it seems to be about people boycotting some of these, the Rise of Skywalker, and people that were calling for boycotts went out and seen the movie anyway. Guys, I get it. I get it. I understand. I understand where these people are coming from, but I also understand that you know what, guys, like that's just the way the world is. Because I mean, who are you to say what somebody can and cannot do? You're nobody. I'm nobody. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. And so I don't know. Like I said, when I see people out there going and policing these fandoms, it's just weird to me. You know what I mean? It's just weird. Now, and that's why people largely act the way they do when you go out and you take aim at them and then they fire back and then you get offended. You know what I mean? Because you went out there and kind of offended other people by calling out people specifically. And this happens to people across the board. It's not just one person. There's a lot of people that do that. And I'm just saying, if you're one of those people and you're out there criticizing people, make sure that you're open to the criticism too. And also, if you're just out there making content much like myself, make sure that you're open to taking and facing that criticism as well. I know that it seems like these days that the internet, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all of this stuff, these things are not for people that have thin skin. These things are not for people who are seeking validation through means of social media. It's just the wrong place for you if that's what you want. You probably just need to, just block everybody else out and only keep your friends because largely you're going to face those criticisms, okay? And don't be butthurt when somebody comes out and fires something back. There's always going to be somebody mean out there. There's always some meanie that's going to have something not nice to say to you. There's always going to be somebody out there to kiss your butt too. There's people, for every person that's out there that wants to be mean to you, there's another person out there that's willing to kiss your butt and just be a yes man. And that's not what you'll ever find here on my show. I don't kiss anybody's butt, and I'm not a yes man. I don't go with the crowd. I'm, largely in my life, I've always been the person that's willing to put my hand in the air and be like, hey, no, 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 and a lot of times I won't even put my hand in the air. I'll just say it. I've always been that person who will say what I feel. Sometimes I will say what other people are thinking and are too scared to say. This hasn't always served me well. Believe me, it hasn't. Like I said, when I used to work back at my job, when I used to work for Walmart, and I did these kinds of things, people didn't like it. You don't make friends that way. But when it comes to things like that, when it comes to being at work, when it comes to those kinds of things, I'm not here to make friends. You know what I mean? I wasn't working my job to make friends. I'm not here on YouTube to make friends. I'm not on Twitter to make friends. I've already got friends. Now, if I make friends along the way, that's good. And largely that's where I've always kind of fallen. And I know that's probably a criticism that somebody can easily fire back at me. And the same thing with what a lot of people would perceive to be the gray order is, oh, you're just a fence rider. You're just so middle of the ground. And that's not the case. That's not the case because we all have our feelings, the way we feel about things, and the way we go about them. And the thing is sometimes we just express them differently, but sometimes the reason a lot of us are that maybe you think we're riding the fence is because we're willing to hear other people out. I'm willing to hear you out if you disagree with me. I'm willing to hear you out if you hate my guts. I don't care about that. I'm willing to hear you out. I'm willing to talk about it. That's okay. And I'm not ever going to disparage you for your thoughts, your feelings, and your opinions, even if I don't agree with them, even if I think they're stupid. I'm willing to hear you out. I'm willing to hear you out. And I think more people should be open to those kinds of things and those kinds of criticisms. And I don't blame anybody who wants to kind of just roll with their little clique of people. I mean, that's what anybody does. That's human nature. But are you willing to roll with your little clique and then still jump over and talk with other people and hang out with them? Drunk 3PO, thank you. Drunk 3PO says, Merry Christmas, you're my friend. Just taking one last look at my friends. I love that line. Thanks, Drunk 3PO. I greatly appreciate that. So yeah, and that's one of the things out there. I've always been kind of that person, like that person like, hey, man, I'm willing to talk to anybody. I want to talk to anybody. I'm willing to talk to everybody. There's really only three kinds of people that I don't want to mess around with. That would be rapists, child molesters, and I guess for the most part murderers. You know, maybe thieves over murderers, because I think sometimes murder could be justified. It could. I'm not saying it should be. I'm just saying it could. It could. You know what I mean? So we'll go with that. We'll go with that. Okay. There's three. You know what? And those are the three things that I don't know. I don't really need to go into that kind of stuff, do I? But largely, that's what this whole thing is about. Is we see all these people out there who are constantly at odds over all of these different things, and you know, guys, I'm just here to tell you, you're welcome here, and it's okay. You know, you're welcome here to come here and share your thoughts. You're welcome to come here and call me a dumbass or any other name you want. Because largely, I'll tell you, no matter what you say, you're going to find it pretty hard to offend me, okay? For one, because most of you don't like actually know me personally to say anything that could actually offend me. You got something to say about my mom? Oh, you don't know her. You got something to say about me? You probably don't really know me. You got something to say about my wife or my kids or anything like that? Anyone you want to take aim at? You don't know me. You don't know us. So good luck. But you're welcome here. You're welcome here to leave all of your harshest criticisms. I welcome that. I want to hear that because, you know, there's a lot. You can learn a lot from a troll. You can learn a lot from a dummy. You can learn a lot from somebody who knows what the hell they're talking about. You can learn even more from them. So largely, that's what I really want to say is, you know, like with, you know, now we've finally got the Rise of Skywalker. It's out. Everybody's done their little videos about it. Everybody's going to continue to talk about it for, you know, days on end, weeks on end, years on end, until we get the next Star Wars thing. And that's cool. You know what I mean? That's fine. You do what you got to do. But largely, you know, I'm glad this is over, and you know, maybe these waters will eventually kind of smooth out a little bit, and people can start to come back together and commune and talk and be a little more civil than it has been over these past couple of years. You know what I mean? It's been rough. It's been a rough past couple of years, and I know a lot of people have benefited from it. A lot of people have not benefited from it. A lot of people have downright, you know, lost during this whole war, if you will, this whole fan war, and all of these different things. It's just and that's what ultimately what it is. You know, like there's when it comes to these kinds of things, guys. Like, you know, the one thing I even said already is we always seem to forget we're all fans here. We're all fans here, and there's no need to be assholes to each other, guys. Especially we're in the holidays right now, but yet we still see people out there going out there and taking aim at other people. And you know what? If that's what you got to do, hey man, do you. Do you. But just know that you're going to get some pushback. You know what I mean? Because you're going to be out there and you're going to say something about somebody who may be a bigger fish than you are, and you know, who has an army, you know, behind them. You know, but the thing is I would also say that, you know, those people who you're taking aim at, they don't have to fire back. They don't have to come back neither. You know, that's the beauty of it. But a lot of times when you take aim at somebody, they're going to come back and take aim right back at you. So be careful, guys. That's all I'm saying. Just watch what you're doing. You know what I mean? And if somebody does take aim at you, you don't have to bring your whole army with you to fight. Guys, we're on the internet, okay? We're on the internet. People are automatically going to do that. You don't have to blast somebody. You don't have to do any of that stuff, okay? Just do your best to be civil. You know what I mean? Do your best to be objective. To do your best to realize that other people out there have different feelings than you do. That people that have different strong feelings than you do. That's what I said. These things are fandoms, and people like what they like, and they don't like what they don't like. It's a pretty simple thing. You guys grew up in this world. That's the way the world works. Okay. So that's you know, I guess I don't really have much else to say about those kinds of things, guys, other than, you know, just be thankful that we have each other. You know what I mean? Be thankful that you have somebody out there to, you know, say something about what you're saying, you know, whether it's against it, whether it's for it. Be thankful that you have somebody out there listening to you. Be thankful that you have other people out there that care. Be thankful that there's other fans out there that care about the same thing you do. And be thankful that there are differences of opinion, because I even talked about this the other day on one of my streams. Was, you know, Philip Anselmo in the song God, what is it, no is it No Good, Attack the Radical? Man, I got to look up the name of it, which exact song this is. because he's got some very good words in there that I think a lot of people should take heed of and listen to. And let's see, is it no good attack? It might be live in a hole, but the saying goes, if one man had one home in one world, he'd live in a world without variety, full of anxiety, no one to point at, question, or even talk to. In his private grave, no matter what color his skin, he wouldn't be safe from hell. He dwells, a closed mind playing the part of prison cells. And all that really means, guys, is, you know what? Don't just try to be alone, or don't just try to be on your own. Don't try to shut out everybody else and their opinion, because that's not a fun world. That's not a fun world. You should enjoy people's differences of opinion. And that's all I've really got to say about that. Now I'm going to go ahead and get here into the live chats. I see there are plenty of you here leaving some comments. Thank you all so much for being here once again. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about today was Christmas movies. What's your favorite Christmas movie? What are you watching with your family out there today? I know a lot of us like going out there and maybe you watch Christmas Vacation. Maybe you're watching Gremlins. Maybe you're watching Die Hard. Are you one of those people? Hey, I am. Maybe you're out there watching one of my favorites, which is The Family Stone. A great movie. Or maybe, I just seen somebody else post about this on Twitter, and that was Ernest Saves Christmas, man. I loved that movie growing up. I actually seen that movie at the movie theater. That's, I loved Ernest growing up. Just always fun and funny things. And you know what? Don't forget about that movie. What was the name of that movie? You know the one I'm talking about, with Dudley Moore and John Lithgow. Wasn't it John Lithgow in that? Remember? Was it, I want to say it was called The Santa Claus, but I don't think it was. Maybe The Santa Claus was that other that Tim the Toolman Taylor. You know who I'm talking about. Maybe it was that one, but oh man, what was that movie? Answer that in the comments below if you know which one it was. But the one with Dudley Moore, where he was the little elf, and then he went out, and I think it was John Lithgow that he was working with that was the evil bad guy. And remember that movie? Man, that was such a great movie. I haven't watched that one in a few years, but that was a good one. Plus, whatever happened to Dudley Moore, right? Whatever happened to Dudley Moore? Is he still alive? I don't know. Hopefully he's doing good, if he is. So let's see, who all we got here? Oh man, you guys have been busy. Phelan Reacts, thank you so much for being here. Don Draper, Drunk 3PO, thank you so much for being here. Mr. Pete, thank you so much for being here. RC Scott, Wookiee Supremacy, Tommy is here as well. J528, what's up the Senate? James Tamburo, thank you for being here. Let's see, who else do we got here? Let's see, Wookiee Supremacy, thank you so much for being here. Thank you. And he knows what I said right there. He knows. I Am True Skills, thank you so much for being here. The Weekly Rant, thank you so much for being here, Elliot. I hope you're having a good day. Pope Cerebrus the First, thank you so much for being here. Bake the Snake. And now let's see what some of the people are saying here. I'm sure everybody's saying Merry Christmas. J20, the Senate says he's just playing some Battlefront. Awesome. And I need to go out and play some of that Fallen Order. I still haven't got to play that much. Let's see. I've seen somebody else. And if there's something specific you guys want me to read, make sure that there's a lot of you in here right now chatting. Make sure that you at 2nd Street Marvel on there, so it kind of highlights it there in the thing. Pope Cerebrus the First says, where did you get White Lily? Was it Kickstarter? Yeah. I backed White Lily through Kickstarter, and that's where I got it. But I also actually got a copy of a couple of them when I met Preston Poulter at LA Comic Con, and that's where I got like one of the advanced copies of issue 4 that I already had, and I went ahead and backed up his project anyway. I kind of felt that was a little important, help him hit his goal. You know what I mean? Plus, I got the one where he sent the 2 covers there. I got it on the thank you page and stuff like that. I don't know. I thought it was kind of cool. J528 says the Senate says if they mess up Obi-Wan, I'm gonna die. He's my favorite Star Wars character. I like Obi-Wan too, and man, I think that you're good, man. I think Deborah Chow's gonna do a good job with that. Bake the Snake says I thought I was going to have to unfriend you for a minute, 2nd Street. That's funny. Let's see. Sith Lord is here. Thank you so much for being here. Bake the Snake says, "Yeah, man. Both sides seem to stick to their guns just to get their point across." Yeah, yeah. And that's the thing. There's nothing wrong with sticking to your guns, but at the same time, it's okay to interact with others and accept people for their differences of opinions. That's that's just part of life. If you can't handle hearing somebody else's opinion, can't hear them out or anything like that, you're bad at life. You're bad at life. I'll tell you that. Drew Boss, thank you so much for being here. Let's see. Let's see. Ooh. Tommy says, I equally hate across the board." That's Big says that's true. The true equality, Tommy. Equality. Okay, and I just want to tell you, equality is a bunch of lies. Don't ever fall for it. Um, Maverick Pilgrim, thank you so much for being here. Maverick says, "Doing stuff with the fam this morning. Just dropped in to drop a like, say Happy Christmas, and high five the chat. Join hashtag the Gray Order." Yeah, and that's the thing is, when it comes to the Gray Order, it doesn't mean that you have to not be a part of the Fandom Menace or not be a Reylo shipper or not be a part of whatever fandom that you're a part of. It just means that you're willing to not be an asshole. And when I say not be an asshole, it more so means that, like, you don't have to, because you guys can follow me here on the channel. That's why I say I'm probably one of the worst representatives, is because, what, I can be extreme at times, and I might come off as not enjoyable for some people. So, hey, but largely, I'm pretty fair in hearing other people out and their opinions and things like that out. I think it's something that more people need to be open to, definitely. 19K Fox says, "Reylo shipper, oh no!" That's funny. Mr. Pete says, "The Geo says the Phantom Menace complains too much. The Phantom Menace got us the Mandalorian and new Clone Wars." Okay, yeah, fair enough. Bake the Snake says, "I only have a problem if you think The Last Jedi is good." Well, here's the thing. When it comes to The Last Jedi, I like it. I can't say that it's good. I can't say that it's good. I like it, but I can't say that it's good. And I've talked about that several times here. I can't argue with anybody and say that it's a great movie or a good movie, because for me, it does more bad than it does good. And I think when it comes down to it, it's a bad Star Wars movie. You know what I mean? It's a bad Star Wars movie. That's what it has. That's more for me what it has to do with. U.S. Dutch Kitty, thank you so much for being here. Let's see who else we got here. Biden Touch, thank you so much for being here. Who else we got here? It looks like that's about all we got here, guys. As far as you guys, thank you guys so much for being here again. I see there is 17 people still here. I'm True Skill says, "Yo Trinity, what's zodiac sign are you?" I'm a Capricorn. The best of corn. That's what I'll tell you. Oh man, what's this C3PO stuff, man? Where's his little Santa hat? Where's drunk 3PO and his beer mug? That's what it's all about right there. R2D2. Yeah. Wookiee Supremacy says, 5 letters for life. IDGAF. I hear you, bro. I hear you. Fence riding? Is that a fetish? For some, it probably is. U.S. Dutch Kitty says, "Yeah, I didn't expect to make friends on Twitter. I was just using it to follow my interest, but oh boy, now I love my Twitter friends." Yeah, and don't worry, Twitter is a cesspool. But it can be fun. Nicholas Glenn, thank you so much for being here. He says, "At Tommy, do you sleep, brother, or are you really a robot?" He might be a robot. He might be part droid, or maybe he's all droid, or maybe he's like Emperor Palpatine, and he's got one of those big old crane arms on him that's keeping him alive, and he's like. Bake the Snake says, we're all gonna meet up at MegaCon in 2020. Actually, can't wait. That sounds cool, man. I'm not sure where MegaCon is, but I know I've heard some people talking about that, and that's cool. That's cool, man. Aggressively Relaxing, thank you so much for being here, my brother. I hope you're doing well. Let's see who else we got here in the chat. I am Misguided. Thank you so much for being here. The Gospel According to Mark with a C. I'm listening at work. I just had to sneak in a comment. You're speaking great wisdom, my man. Rock on. Well, thank you, the Gospel or Mark with a C. I appreciate that, man. And you know what? You do the same thing, man. I've watched several of your videos, and I like it, man. I like the way you talk on things. Definitely. You've definitely got the gospel, man. I'll tell you that. The Comics Club, thank you so much for being here as well. Pope Cerebrus the First says, "Be the change that you want to see." Exactly, exactly. I mean, I guess just like Michael Jackson said, "I'm starting with the man in the mirror." Right? I mean, we should do that. Pope Cerebrus says, "Fucking hostile." No, different song, but that works too. Unfortunately, Biden Touch says, unfortunately, most of the time when I try to engage in a reasonable disagreement on the net, people are only interested in being snarky, and that's the bad thing, and that's why a lot of times when I see somebody being snarky, I'm willing to just be reasonable and not hit them back with some snark. I mean, there are times when I really want to, there are times when I really want to, but a lot of times I just breathe and I think about it and I say, okay, okay, I'm gonna be reasonable here, and sometimes I just toss the reason out the window. Okay, let's see. Who else? Who else we got here? AFK Bard says, "I'm here." Well, thank you so much for being here. Did I miss anybody else? Alex Dobbs here is here. Just stop shooting lightning if it's reflecting back at you. Right, right. I'm Misguided says Dudley Moore was not acting in the Arthur movies. The Arthur movies is what happened to him. You know what? And it's been a while since I've seen those Arthur movies, but I do know what you're talking about. It's funny when I think of Dudley Moore, I always think of him, with one of those little drink glasses, drinking like some scotch on the rocks or something. I always think of that being actually him. So I don't doubt what you're saying there. With that, I am misguided. I don't doubt that at all. The Comics Club says 1951 Scrooge movie. Nice, nice. That's a good one. Matter of fact, we just watched Scrooged, the Bill Murray one, just a couple of days ago. That's another one of my favorites. U.S. Dutch Kitty says, A Muppet Christmas Carol is on my watch list today with the family. Definitely, definitely. That's another good one. And, another one I like too, aside from the Muppet Christmas Carol, is Mickey's Christmas Carol. I grew up watching that one as well. Um, Let's see. Santa. Okay, it was Santa Claus the movie. I thought it was. I thought that was the name of it. Biden Touch says watched Wonder Woman last night, and how could you not want to? You know what I mean? That was definitely one of the best DC films that they have come out with as of late, and I'm looking forward to that new Wonder Woman, 1984. Man, that movie looks absolutely good. U.S. Dutch Kitty says, "I love The Family Stone. My ex fiance introduced me to that, and it is just good. It is a great movie. Definitely one of my favorites. I know when my mother brought that with her when she came down for Christmas one year, and it's pretty much become a staple of our Christmas watching. Definitely, definitely, because it's a good one. It's got a lot of great actors in it as well. Good stuff. Plus, it's got Coach in there, right? How could you not like Coach? Second speaks shrilly wook like a Californian. Um, AFK Bard says, I've had many of my ships destroyed over the years, but I get over it. I hope Reylo fans can survive in the small moments they were given. Yes, yes. Hey, and they were given a big moment. They were given a pretty big moment in the movie. They were. And hey, like I said, I know a lot of people think that the Rise of Skywalker, there's a bunch of fan service in it. Like, I think there was a couple of parts that were fan service. Other than that, it was just too crammed with a whole bunch of stuff in it to really know what else it was crammed with. To be honest, Wookiee Supremacy says Wonder Woman is my favorite from the DC movies. Is it my favorite? I would have to say it's certainly the best one. It's certainly the best one. Is it my favorite? It could be, and I do make the distinction because just because one is the best doesn't mean it's my favorite. Because I could easily go to like a band like Faith No More. I'm not sure if you guys listen to Faith No More, but look at Faith No More. I look at them. I think their best album is arguably Angel Dust, but my favorite album is probably King for a Day, Fool for a Lifetime. I could be wrong there. I could be wrong. But that's just how I feel about it. Um, so yeah, but that's I don't know. I could be wrong though. Let me know if you guys like that down in the comments below. Have you ever listened to Faith No More? If not, you should, because Mike Patton, I'm telling you, the singer for the group, dude is a lyrical madman. He's one hell of a vocalist. They're just awesome. They're just awesome. Um, The Comics Club says MegaCon is in Orlando, Florida. Oh, so that pretty much means that most of the people that I follow, that I watch on YouTube, will probably be going or could go, because it seems like everybody lives on the East Coast. Where's all my West Coast peeps at, man? Where's all my West Coasters? West Side? Where's all my West Coasters at, man? Yeah. I'm actually from the Midwest, to tell you the truth, but Biden Test says watching Gal Gadot leap around, of course, never hurts a movie. Definitely not. Definitely not. 19K Fox, Dudley Moore died in 2002. I loved him in the Arthur movies. Yeah, definitely. And okay, I was gonna say I thought he did pass away, and that's sad. But yeah, I do always remember him in movies. And like I said, Dudley Moore is one of those guys out there. He's one of those actors who, he's a good actor. Just did what he did, but he's one of those personalities out there. Like there are several of them out there, where he's just like he's Dudley Moore in a movie. Like Danny DeVito. No matter what role he gets, he's Danny DeVito in a movie. You know what I mean? And we all look at like a bunch of great actors and things like that, and there's a whole lot of things that go into being a great actor, but there are some of them who are that, and I think that's something largely missing in Hollywood a lot these days. Is people being themselves in a movie, bringing their personality to a movie, and largely I think that is because of everything that goes on in social media and things like that, where we don't actually get to know who some of these people actually are. You know what I mean? I won't say, okay, they're personalityless. You know what I mean? Like they lack the personality and that brevity and just that thing that they bring to the screen. You know what I mean? And that's not saying that they're not great actors, but go watch. Chris Evans is a perfect example. Great actor. He is a great actor, but he's not Chris Evans in a movie. He's not him in a movie being a role. You know what I mean? Like he's playing Captain America. He's Captain America. He's playing. He's playing as Johnny. Man, I almost said Johnny Blaze, but you know who I'm talking about. Storm. Yeah, he's playing Johnny Storm. He's Johnny Storm. He's not Chris Evans being Johnny Storm. You know what I mean? He's not. He's no John Candy. John Candy is John Candy as Uncle Buck. You know what I mean? John Goodman is John Goodman as Walter Sobchak. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing, like they bring their larger than life personalities with them to a role. They're not just the role. And I think that's something that's missing in a lot of movies these days, in a lot of these great actors, is bringing themselves to the role. Because to me, that's ultimately what should get you the role, is bringing yourself to the role, not just being the role in the movie. And I could be wrong about that. But that's just, just how I feel about it myself. But let's see. Sith Lord says, Faith No More. Yeah. No, not yeah. It's yeah. Yeah, man. But I got you. You know. Let's see. Pope Schreiber says, Mr. Bungle, Faith No More. Yeah. Mr. Bungle is great. And you know what? They're actually playing, I think, in January or February. And man, we went online to get tickets for that. The tickets were only like, I want to say they were $40 a piece. It might have only been 25. They were only like $40 a piece. And me and my wife were both on the internet. She was on the Chromebook, and she was on her phone. I was on my phone. I was on the computer trying to get tickets that morning when those things released. And we were on, I'm telling you, we were on the internet that second. We were both on there. Could not get a ticket. They were sold out like that, man. The bots got it. And now the tickets are going for like over $200. And believe me, I love Faith No More, and I absolutely love Mr. Bungle. And that is like a show for the history books, because you rarely ever get to see Mr. Bungle. I would be willing to pay $200 for a ticket, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, man, I'm not paying $200 for that. I literally paid to go to Ozzfest less than $100. I think at that second Ozzfest, I want to say it was like $50, might have been 75, something like that. But believe me, seeing Mr. Bungle live would be worth that $200. And actually, the last time I seen Faith No More in concert, we actually bumped into Mike Patton and Danny DeVito outside the Palladium in Los Angeles. Like literally bumped into them. Like we were walking, because we got out of the car, and I've told this story before, but we got out of the car, and I was like, out of my friend's car. I was like, oh man, I should have grabbed my marker. I should have grabbed my Sharpie. And and where he's walking backwards, he's like, for what? And I said, you never know who you'll run into. And bam, right as I said that, he literally bumped into Mike Patton from Faith No More, and we were both like, ugh. My friend got a picture with him. I didn't, and I'm always gonna hold that against you, Rich. But he got a picture with him, and like I'm telling you, like that's probably like the one time that I've really like been super like starstruck because it seemed Mike Patton were like, we were almost like both like bumbling fools. It was crazy. It was crazy. But yeah, that was great. Biden Touch says Faith No More is a great band, definitely. Hialeah Comic Bro says, I want it all, but I can't have it. Yes, right? It's it. What is it? Ooh, man. I'm gonna get a content claim on that. Oh man. Um, Wookiee Supremacy says more Murphy in best defense. In best, I'm guessing is that a movie? Is that a movie? I'll probably have to check that out. Dudley Moore as Dudley Moore, right? um, Bake the Snake says a lot of Florida peeps in the. Yeah, there is a lot of Florida people in the, especially in the comic book community. It seems like most of the comic book YouTubers that I follow, it seems like they're all from like Florida or at least the East Coast. I'm like, man, where all my West Coasters at, man? We need some more West Coast peeps up in this piece, man. I know there's a few of us out there. But man, we need more of us. See the Senate here. He knows. Definitely. Pope Cerebrus as well. All right, good deal. And Wookiee Supremacy says 2007 Ozzfest was free. Nice. Sith Lord says I went to the first of 3 Ozzfests. Awesome, yeah, because I think the one I went to was the second Ozzfest. I want to say that was 2000, or not 2000, but I want to say that was. God, what was that? 1990. It had to be 98 or 99. But there was like, God, who all was there? There was Megadeth, Limp Bizkit, Seven Dust, System of a Down, Snot, Life of Agony. I already said Megadeth. Tool was there. They were great. Who else was there? There was a lot of bands. Ultra Spank. Man, who else was there? But all I know is I remember we were getting there to Ozzfest, and we were sitting there. We were all excited to get there. We got there a little bit late, parking and everything. We got in. They tear our tickets. They say, "Welcome to Ozzfest." We go in, and right as we're walking by the second stage, all we hear is, "Thank you, I'm Lynn, and we're Snot." And they walk off stage, and that is like the hugest letdown. I'm not sure if you guys know who Snot is or was, but they were a great band, and I really feel that they were getting ready to change kind of the face of like metal music at the time once again, just like Pantera somewhat did back in the early 90s, man. I was like crap, dude, and we never got a chance to see them again, and I will never ever forget that. That was like one of the biggest letdowns ever. But yeah, awesome. Let's see. Tommy says, I seen that one. Oh, nice. He says, I remember Limp Bizkit had the giant toilet on stage. They did. And that's the same tour that I think Lynn Straight and Snot actually got. I think they got. I want to say they got kicked off the tour for a little while or something because Lynn Straight actually on that same toilet where Fred Durst was coming up out of, Lynn Straight was sitting there getting a BJ from a groupie in the middle of the show. Wookiee Supremacy says that sounds like the Family Values tour. A lot of similar names except for we didn't see. Korn wasn't at the one that I went to. Korn wasn't on the bill. And Ice Cube wasn't there as well. But yeah, a lot of the same bands. Were there, and especially at that time. And Deftones wasn't there neither. But I have seen Deftones. God, how many times have I seen Deftones? I want to say I've seen Deftones. I know I've seen them at least once, but I'm thinking maybe I've seen them a second time. Like the Deftones we seen on their Around the Fur tour, and my God, that is one of the best and most intense shows I've ever been to. I think another one of the best and most intense shows I went to was, I want to say here it was maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Me and my friend went down to no, it wasn't the LA Coliseum. It was, oh man. Um, they changed the name of it now. The Forum down in L.A. And God, who all was there? There was Limp Bizkit, Suicidal Tendencies, House of Pain. God, who else was there? I know there was a couple other groups there as well. Was it? It might have just been Everlast. No, it was House. I'm pretty sure it was House of Pain altogether. I don't think it was just Everlast. But yeah, man, that was a freaking great show, man. And that was like, that was crazy. Pope Shrever says Family Values wasn't that Eminem and Limp Bizkit. Family Values would have been like Korn. There would have been like Korn, Ramstein, Limp Bizkit. I believe Deftones may have been on one of the bills as well, because I think they did a couple of them. Who else would have been there? I think Primus was there. I'm pretty sure Ice Cube was there. I'm not sure if Eminem ever actually made it to one of the Family Values, but he easily could have. Oh yeah, Typo Negative was good too. I got a chance to see Typo Negative one time, and they were great, man. And Typo Negative, they're just one of those bands their albums are good, but go see them live, man. They were great live. Typo Negative. Deftones, my own summer shove it is one of my favorites. Yes, definitely, definitely. Um, Wookiee Supremacy says, if I had all the money I spent on concerts, I'd retire. I know. And you know what? I've been to plenty of shows that were like one hell of a great value. Like, I think one of the best shows I ever went to, I think we spent $8 on the tickets. $8. And we seen, God, who else was there? I think there was Cold Chamber, Downset, Vision of Disorder, Machine Head, and I want to say there was one other band. And it was like, holy shit! Like you don't get shows like that for $8, man. Like that, that's one hell of a show. Pope Shrever says, I saw Phil Anselmo and Primus at the last Slayer show 3 weeks ago. Nice. I know here in LA, I'm not sure. I think they closed down the Key Club, but the Key Club, they used to do these things on Monday nights. It was like called Monday Metal or Monday 80s nights or something like that. But I know me and my friends, we meant to go down there several times when they would do that show, and I know several times Philip Anselmo just kind of showed up there and would go out on stage singing with some of the bands and stuff. Like that's awesome. That's good stuff. Um, Comic Club says, time to get the store open. We wish you all a wonderful field Christmas. The Comic Book Pusher. Well, I hope you have a good day as well, the Comics Club. Thank you for being here. And you guys should go check out the Comics Club's channel. I would leave a link. The way I've got all my stuff set up, it'd be hard for me. But the Comics Club is a cool channel. You guys should definitely go check them out. Now, I know he's somewhat controversial with some people because they do these things where they shred old comic books, and they shred them, and then they put them up for sale, and the sales, some of this portion of the sales goes to charities. So guys should go check out his channel and some of they do. And I get some people disagree with what he's doing and stuff like that, but hey, man, they're doing it for a good cause. And I understand some people may not like that. I just know that because something he had mentioned yesterday during his stream when it had premiered. And I was like, man, that's really like people upset because of that. Like, I don't know. To me, that's just weird. But I mean, I get it. But hey, like, I don't know. People, like I said, sometimes people are weird about stuff, and hey, that's okay. That's okay because we're all weird about something. Let's see. Chaos and Comics says you can't see them live. I can't see who live. Oh man, which one? Um, can't see who live anymore. I'm sure, yeah, because I know there's several bands can't see live anymore. Let's see. Pope Shrever first says, nope, wait, that was the Anger Management tour. Oh, okay. Chaos of Comics says, I saw that Slayer show in Vegas. Third to last show. Nice. I must have missed one here. Oh yeah, Incubus would have been on the Family Values tour as well. Yeah, Incubus would have been too. Pope Shrever says Eminem and Limp Bizkit. Oh, okay, all right. Comics Club says, thank you so much for the shout out, very kind. Yeah, no problem, man, no problem. Let's see. Chaos says typo is impossible to see live. Oh, okay. I see what you said. Oh, yeah. At this point, yeah, because who it was Peter Steele, right? Didn't was it Peter Steele that died? I think it was. I think it was Peter Steele that died. Um, yeah. Wookiee Supremacy says, I think Deathlock and Mastodon was the most fun I've had in a long time. That's awesome. You actually got to see Deathlock. Like, doing a thing for Deathlock. 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 I love that show, man. I miss Metalocalypse. Do they still have Metalocalypse? I know I've got the first season on DVD. I love that stuff. God, I can't remember the guy's name who did that, but they were talented, man, and they put that talent into that little TV show, which was great because they always had guest spots on there too. Guests who would go on the show, and that was funny. And I always remember what was the clown? You know the clown on there, cocaine. Yeah. Yeah, okay, it was Peter Steele that died. I figured it was Peter. I was pretty sure it was Peter Steele that died. And yeah, you can't really have typo negative without Peter Steele. I mean, you could probably, if you lost a drummer, you can find a replacement for Sal Abruscato. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, I think they did for a little while, but like it's hard to replace a frontman like Peter Steele. Like you can't really do it, especially with. I mean, he's the voice of the band. He's the singer. Yeah. Definitely. He says Death Clock rips live. Oh, I bet they do. I bet they do. Yeah, Dr. Roxo. Yeah, yeah. Cocaine. Guar had fun shows. I never went to a Guar show, but I heard they were really fun. And they put on one hell of a show. And that's like, they're performers. They actually went out and performed, not just made music. They actually went out and put on a show. And that's something like I'm not the biggest Marilyn Manson fan in the world, but I would love to see Marilyn Manson live because he's an entertainer and he puts on one hell of a show. He really does. And like I said, I'm not a huge Marilyn Manson fan, but that would be a show to see, especially back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Like during God, what album was that? With the with Beautiful People and everything on there, man. That was the time, man. That was the time, man. Like, damn. Now I wanna hear that. Now I wanna hear that. You know what I'm talking about. Chaos and Comics says, I'm not a big Slayer guy. I made it through about half the set. Liked everyone else though. Yeah, Slayer's not for everybody. Definitely not for everybody. I like Slayer. I mean, good stuff. But I could certainly see why how they're not for everybody. Let's see. Wookiee Supremacy says Guar is the goat. Nice. Definitely. Manson is a Florida boy, yes. And you know what really got me with Marilyn Manson, where I really sort of kind of became a fan of his was after I read his autobiography, Long Hard Road Out of Hell. If you haven't ever read that and you want to read a good autobiography, go read that book. That book is excellent. That book is great. Chaos and Comics says, blood from Hillary Clinton's cut off boobs sprayed on me during a Guar show. Nice. I seen somebody else mentioned ICP in here. The only thing that matches Guar show is an ICP show. Yeah, I was gonna say, and I've seen ICP one time, and it was a pretty cool show too. Cause God, who all was it? There was ICP, Psycho Realm, Twisted. And I want to say there was another group there too, and I can't remember who else it was. But yeah, hell of a show. ICP, for a while, like ICP is one of those groups. Like when they were first coming out, really liked them, and it kind of seemed to fall off, and then it kind of got back onto them again. And ICP is really good, and ICP is one of those bands that is definitely one of those bands that like some people really like and some people really don't like. But altogether, a lot of their messages are really good. One of my friends was pointing out, like, you could see in a lot of their and they're advocates against like the human trafficking and all that kind of stuff, because they were talking about how one of my friends was pointing out how a lot of the music talks about being basically against like child molesters and all that kinds of stuff, and who isn't against that stuff? You know what I'm saying? Like, there should be people out there talking a lot about that. Pope Cerebus says, yes, I saw Marilyn Manson and Rob Zombie middle last tour. Nice. That's pretty badass. That was a good song on the Spawn soundtrack. Ooh, I don't remember the Spawn soundtrack, but I'd have to check that out. Chaos says you guys can keep ICP. Fair enough, man. Fair enough. Yeah, there's certainly one of those bands that's not for everybody. But yeah, guys, it's already been an hour. It's 9 o'clock. I don't want to really go much longer. I'm sure we've all got a busy day ahead of us. I know I've got to get ready. We're getting ready to go hit the plane to go out of town and spend some time with family. I hope you're all having a good day. I hope you all have a great Christmas and a happy New Year. Like I said, I'm going to be out of town, but don't think I have content ready to go here on the channel. Still going to be doing some live streams while I'm up at my sister's house out in Seattle. Maybe I'm going to get out and check out some of the local comic book shops in her area and just be lazy and catch up on some of my reading. But guys, that's all I have for today's video. Like I said, go out there, be civil with each other. It's okay to have differences. Go out there and enjoy some time with your families. Enjoy that time. You know, I hope you get some good gifts. I hope you all have a fun and safe holidays. You all have a very good day, and we'll see you in the next video. Later.